up nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
What up, punks? How's it going? Thanks for joining.
Man,
hello.
That intro video almost makes it look like you guys know what you're doing.
It's crazy.
Bamboozle people into
It's legit AI.
Yeah. I remember when you guys first had that made, and you were like, I need you to listen to this, and I was like, this is amazing. Who made this? And I think Face? No. Who made it for you?
Praise.
Yeah.
Praise made it for you guys. Yeah, and I have to admit, usually when I watch the podcast, I watch it at 2x speed. So it's like the G-Fuse, like it's at 2x speed. So I never listen to it when it's normal. And I was over here like bopping. I was like, this actually has some groove. Like,
yeah, he crushed that one. And he's got a bunch of original productions he's been releasing. I think he's doing the whole once a month thing right now. And some of the stuff he's been putting out is really, really good. So
shout out to Frizz.
Yeah. And he's been like building his playlists and spending a lot of time on that, and he's got some good things in the works, and it's really cool.
So you're telling me if you work hard, something actually comes of it?
You know, it's crazy that is what it usually is.
I thought I could just go up and say, "Hey, I want what you have," and then get it.
That's what appears to be the way it works these days.
It's the DJ philosophy.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Well, if you read the headline, you know who's our guest of the week. It's Miss DJ Pinke, a good friend of the show. I just went and saw her play this Beyond Wonderland, and if you haven't gone and watched my recap video, go watch the absurdity happen. And I swear I was sober, believe it or not, actually, and it looks like I get more and more on acid as it goes through, so that's part of the fun. But
the whole vlog is like it's like 9 minutes of Drew at Beyond Wonderland in the style of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yes, and then I went over here, and then I was over here. They were looking at me, so then I got a coconut.
I came to support Pinke, and I mean you got everybody going. You had an earlier slot, but everyone was in your room, and you watch the footage. People are up by the stage and going already in the paint. And yeah, I want to say, like in that vlog, that room decoration wise was the best.
Yeah, they call it like an art car. So that art car was like, it's normally what they'd have in like a big beer garden, if you were to think of like another festival that you've been to. But instead of having it outside, they decided to move it into like this activation area. And so what's interesting is like, if you actually have people dancing behind you, like that thing is literally like the displays at a bad retail store. Like that's what it feels like you're standing on top of. And so like, there's like people dancing behind you and like getting it. And like the whole thing is like swaying. It reminded me of the only everything I've ever been on that's been like that, other than like a boat, was I did it on a tractor trailer for a this is the most hillbilly country thing I could ever say right now, right? But I did. And there was like I was on hay bales, and that's the only thing that was like even close to like the sway, right?
Yeah.
So it added a fun element of holy crap, I'm playing.
It looks cool though. The DJ booth looked cool. It looked really neat. So
no, we had a great time, and actually something really interesting happened. So like I had done my set. I had played music for the redheaded cowgirl and done her ran her audio as well. And then I thought I was done. Like at that point it was 7:00. We were gonna mob around. We brought a bunch of folks with us, as Drew knows. We threw them all into the back of my DJ van, and so we were like rolling with like a bunch more folks than we probably should have, but it was a great time. And so I thought I was done, and I get this call from the woman who booked me, and she was like, hey, I was like, you okay? And she was like, yeah, do you want to be a hero right now? And I was like, what do you need, right? And I guess the guy who was supposed to play after the girl who had played after me was Roxy Ferrari. I'm not sure if you guys know either of her, but if either of you know her. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, she played at Whaler that one time, I think, Drew.
Yeah.
She had been playing for like an hour and a half, and it's a specialty set. Like it was a EDC kind of like a country EDM.
And you're on sticks. Like after a minute, you're gonna definitely start running out of shit.
Yeah. And I don't think it had been her intention certainly to play like an hour and a half. And so when I got back, she was like, "Do you want to hop on until the other guy gets here?" And I was like, "Sure," right? So I came back, and everyone's like, "Oh, thank God," right? And it's like, "Hey, I'm just here to help and do the thing," right? But so I ended up actually playing like another like 25 minutes at a much busier set time. And I think Drew, you may have caught the tail end of that. I don't remember or not, but it was fun to have that sort of dual experience, and then also like to be running back to be like, "Oh, I get to go do another set," like, that was like that definitely like a highlight for me. And then I actually ended up thinking I was going to close for Pickle as well, because they wanted to let him out 20 minutes before the egress started, because it's like 90,000 people trying to get out of one spot at the same time. And so they were going to let him end his set like 25 minutes early. And he was on the main stage last year. He was just there because he was doing a collab with Beatbox. And so when he started playing, like Drew can attest to this, it was just like the place was just sardine can packed. And it was funny because I had made friends with the stage manager, and he walked over to me and he's like, "Well, they're going to cut him loose. Do you want to hop on for the last 20 minutes?" And I was like, "Well," so I spent the better part of an hour and 10 minutes sitting here thinking, man, this is going to be the biggest ego burn. Like all these people are here for this like definite like headliner, mainliner. And it ended up not being that way. He ended up finding someone else, but I spent the better part of that entire time, like sitting here being like, okay, what am I going to do? This is great. This is going to be great. Great motivation. It's going to be a kick in the balls, but that's okay. Like,
as he burns every fucking big song known to man.
Right. Well, it was interesting. I mean, he's all techno, so I knew it was going to be different anyway. But yeah,
I saw that stage was when I saw him. The stage was swaying and moving, and everyone was jumping up and down. I was like, "Oh, this is coming down."
That's what it feels like. And then when you're inside it, you went inside at one point, right, Drew? And you can see the thing going.
I didn't. No, I didn't make it. I didn't. Oh. I was just standing outside.
It was all liability. I'm glad you didn't. It's all liability. No, but it was a blast.
Well, is it more of a liability than putting 12 people in a cargo van?
No, definitely not. We had them rolling around back there. I could like if I took a sharp turn.
I saw Drew send me a thing, or maybe it was, I don't remember, but it was like the phone pans back and there's 12 people, like, I'm like, oh my God, it's like you guys are smuggling people in.
That's right. No, we absolutely were. It's like very like on brand and like kind of hillbilly and not like conventional or classy at all, which is kind of how
I loved it. And it was really cool through Drew's video, like just all of the like just the stimulating visuals and graphics and figures and the fire and just all the stuff looked really, really cool. So
it is an experience. For anybody that can, I recommend them going.
Yeah. I don't know that. I mean, maybe in my younger youth, I'd be about the drugs or, I mean, whatever else, but I think it'd be just overwhelming, for most of that.
No, 100%. And they've really so that event in particular is with Insomniac. So it's the same group that throws EDC and probably, a lot of the other big festivals around the world at this point. And so they've really got it dialed in. I remember when my first rave ever was at the NOS Center. So it was like a real coming back moment for me to be like,
yeah.
And when I was a kid, I went to, and that's what they called the Massives. I went to Nocturnal at the NOS Festival.
I went to that.
Yeah. Same fairgrounds, except I think you went even a few years earlier than me, Drew. But no, I mean, when I went, it was gritty, and you were it was like every man for himself. And now they've got it really dialed in. Like when we went in and they let the gates open, because we were in a little bit before they had the gates open. There are a few people that had gone a little bit too hard too early, and they were like the security was all over them, making sure they're okay. So they really are, I think, pretty like safe events now. And I can't recommend it enough. I think also for DJs, even if that's not really your lane, like even if you're not a big EDM guy, or techno's really, really big right now, at least on the West Coast, and really dominating that space, I still think it's good. I think it's good because you can see what people are reacting to. We get in our own heads and in our own worlds about what's going to work and what's not going to work, and it's good to be outside of your lane completely and just be open to new stuff. So I can't recommend it enough.
I would never think that I would want to go to a festival like that, only because I feel like, and I've said it probably on here before, I kind of hate what the festival culture has become. But seeing all the footage of Drew and you guys there, I was like, wow, this looks really cool. That looks like fun. I would want to go to that.
Yeah.
It was dope. And it might have just lit the raver inside of me to be wanting to go some more. I was talking with a buddy about Lollapalooza coming up, and I'm like, I might have to try and swing that if I'm off that weekend. So we'll see.
I love that. Well, the goal is to do more, so I'm working on it, Drew. I'll just try to, just let me hustle.
Drew's roadie for life.
I'll throw you into the back of that van anytime.
Wayne's World backstage pass. Get out of the way.
You're not worthy.
We're not worthy. So we're here to talk, country music today. You were on the YEEDM stage, which is like a new term that has coined and is popping off, I guess. You're doing a lot of these. Well, you do a regular country night at the Bungalow in Santa Monica. We'll talk about that, but then they've also spawned into these bigger EDM country things. Let's start with let's go just grassroots and kind of start about how your country night works at Bungalow.
Yeah. So Drew, you've played at Huntington, and I think you have a really good understanding for most of the folks who probably have been following you guys. They've either seen clips of you DJing there, or whatever. I mean, it feels like the inside of a house, right? So it kind of lends itself to that vibe of being a little more is different. That's what I can say. People walk in and it feels different. And the location in Santa Monica in particular was a good fit because we did it at Huntington originally. You need a dance floor. Yeah. If you're gonna play country music, you need a dance floor. And so they have that big open patio space that's wood that lends itself really well to that. So I think that's one of the reasons why that location.
Well, Huntington, when you walk in, it's like you walk into the house and then you go to the backyard. Whereas at Santa Monica, you basically walk into the backyard and you can go in the house if you want, but it's the backyard is what it is. Yeah. So
that's interesting.
It plays out differently when you walk in.
Yeah. No, you're definitely right. So, and I crafted a soundtrack for them for the inside that has like, it's country, but there's like maybe a little bit more breadth of variety, or like I really don't play any kind of like remix or anything like that. Like the woman who owns the Bungalow, Jen Rosero, when we were building this night together, and she really came to me, and I have to give her credit. Like she trusted me, and she said, "Hey, listen, like you know this better than I do. Show me what works. Show me what people will show up to, and show me what people want to dance to." And then she had a pretty clear vision that it'd be like from building off of that, especially in Santa Monica, that it be really genuine, authentic country, which has been really fun because the limiting nature of that can really allow you to like, I think, dig in a different way. And I'm sure you guys have experienced that in your own.
Yeah. And I mean, I've seen other country nights not be as successful. And what I want to compliment is what I think really helped is the line dances and having the redheaded cowgirl teaches line dances with you. And I think that is what brings people because they want to know, but they don't know how to do it. And it is overwhelming. You see it, you're like, well, I can't even attempt to put one foot forward. So to kind of give you the door open. Me and you have talked about this, and so I just want to kind of explain it to everybody. But there is very much a line dance culture, and then there's people that like country. And finding that baby balance is near impossible, right? So kind of explain how you've been able to balance the two. Because I did a night, and just to add to it is I did a night, and the biggest country songs are not fucking country. Or the biggest line dance songs are not country. And so if you're catering to the dancers, then everyone that likes country is pissed the fuck off. So yes. Yeah. Anyways, not to interrupt.
No, you're absolutely right. There is kind of a dichotomy there, and it's a tension that I have even with other places that aren't the Bungalow that they'll have me coming in. Like, and so like for many of us, especially if we're kind of like dyed in the wool DJs, it's like line dance is like a dirty word, right? It's like the thing that like the goofy cummerbund DJ does, and like it's just it's because you lack creativity and imagination to run a dance floor. Let's throw this on for 5 minutes. We'll do the wobble, right? Like it's like line dance, right? But this is different. This is unlike anything that you've ever. And I would invite anybody, if you guys are in town or you're in the area or you're curious, like come with me. Like I'll figure out a way to get you over there because I have a long trek to Santa Monica anyway, but because it is an experience. It is very, very different. The first time you witness it, watching 45 people move in really complicated steps together, like in a coordinated way, is something else. And so, a lot of the dances look like Zumba choreography to Pitbull songs. Not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, regular Zumba Pitbull is that's the move anyway, so it's not too far off.
Yeah, no, I mean, so if you go, like, depending on, like, if you were to go to another place where line dancing is, like, the only thing going on, you would hear a lot of that. Now, the cool thing that I get to do, and because Bungalow is, like, a no-requests, like, place, which is, again, unconventional in country, so we're doing it our own way, is that I really do get to kind of craft and mold and shape and decide, there's a ton of line dancers here, we're going to do more of that, we're going to do less of that, because there's so many of them here. We're going to do more open form, like more like couples dancing, which is, like, country swing and two-stepping, and we'll play new stuff. We'll play some older stuff. Maybe we'll throw a really, really light remix in there because that feels appropriate for the moment, right? And so it's cool to still be able to properly DJ within that space. Because I think a lot of people assume like, well, you're just sitting there and you're like, you have like a playlist. It also doesn't help that a lot of like line dance folks and line dance instructors will be like, oh yeah, I have a DJ. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're sitting there pressing play. You are in fact doing that, right? And I also think that's why a lot of these nights don't do very well, frankly, right? So like it's really cool to be part of something different, and I've learned a ton doing it, and it's made my regular DJing better 100%.
Yeah, I didn't do one, but I went to one, and like I said, it's like all these weird ass fucking B-side Pitbull songs or B-side Florida songs, and
Ed Sheeran shivers.
Yeah.
yes. Although there are some there's some bangers for sure that just aren't popular, like
right.
Some of the stuff that you wouldn't expect. Like, I mean, there's the classics that I think probably most people, if they've had their eyes open and have watched a movie in the last like 20 years, would know about. Like, there's Footloose, and that has Fake ID in it. So these are things that people have probably seen before. But yeah, there's a whole universe of it. And I think the challenge for me also has been to make sure that we continue to do those that we have that culture there, but that it be country, that it not be
right.
bad Pitbull song.
Yeah. 100%. And that's where the instructor definitely adds to it, and it allows you to adventure off and be on the mic and do all the stuff.
So it's been something that's intrigued me. As you guys know, I'm not a big country person when it comes to country music, but the whole idea of it is like very intriguing to me, just because I like when people are having fun. So seeing different groups of people having fun is interesting in a different way. So when I was in Seattle visiting Phrase, he does a night by his house in Tacoma at a place called Steel Creek. So I got there late, but I still got to catch like an hour and a half of it. And it was funny because it was very much what you guys are describing, and I've talked to him about it, and it's like there are some country songs, but a lot of it's like pop songs that line dances have developed to. Do we know why that is a thing? Like why the pop songs are line dances?
Yeah, because the people that are choreographing, the people doing the choreography, probably women who went to a Zumba class, and then they're like, okay, we'll just do this. No, I think it's that you can actually see the transition of it. So if you look at really old line dances, like contra style dances where they're like facing each other, this is like Black Velvet, like old school. There's the more like waltz elements, and I think that like whatever's popular at the time, just like anything, leaks into other types of dance. And so I think that right now, right, maybe like at one point the really like jerky, like quick movements were really popular, like for in general in choreography, and then you can see that reflected in all the other kinds of dance. So I guess the only thing I can kind of speculate is that line dancing attracts a certain kind of personality. Not always, but there's definitely like an element of it's not a team sport unless the culture of the place you're going to is group oriented. And I think it tends to attract folks who to be watched and like to be looked at. And so the more that the dance allows them to be the center of what's going on, I think that they find that some people find that interesting. And if you think about the people that are doing the choreography for a lot of this stuff, probably going to be the type of person that was attracted to it for that reason, right? Or they're dancers. And so
I have a question. I don't understand dancing at all. All right, I'm just like out there and kind of wiggle.
I always thought like Zumba was bicycle dancing, or I thought it was like spinning class. That's what I thought Zumba was. So this is all new to me.
So what decides if a song is a two-step or a shake-a-doodle or a wet noodle? Like what decides what is it the beat? Is it like I'm serious? Like what decides? Yeah. Like can't we just like say, oh, this is a popular song, but it has to be a certain beat, or like what dictates what kind of style of dance that is, if you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think like so that's specifically with like partner dancing. So technically, like two-stepping would be to a more of like a waltz count, 1 2 3 1 2 3. Whereas like if you're doing country swing, which is like if you guys have been to these spaces where you see people kind of like doing a lot of arm tricks, there's a lot of spinning. Sometimes people's feet are in the air. That kind of
and
thing.
it all
Like,
looks exactly the same.
That's more of a 4/4 count. Well, there is a difference though. So country swing is more born out of like regular swing dancing, and it's much more modern. Whereas like two-step or traveling two-step, those like, and they have like the big circles. That's when they like move and dance at the same time. That's like more like OG traditional style like country
Does it
dancing.
matter
So,
on the song though? Like, can you
it
do that
does
to any
because
song?
it does because if you're doing, I'll give you a good example. You guys have heard Tennessee Whiskey.
Yeah, sure. Slow dance.
Yes. Yes, slow dance, but everybody wants to two-step to that and you can't because of the count. You're not supposed to anyway. But I'm kind of with like, that's just to answer your question, Drew. Like I'm kind of with views like if people are having a good time, I think it's game on. And that's one of the things that it's one of the reasons why I think country is popular right now. I mean, there's two reasons. One is that the record labels can do with it what they used to be able to do with traditional music because country fans will buy tickets, they'll go to stuff, they'll still buy merch, they're an active participant in that artist, right? They'll invest and be a fan to that artist and spend money. And also it's fun. Country music is fun. If you allow yourself to have fun with it, it's a very accessible, easy thing. And a lot of music isn't fun and hasn't been fun for a while now. And I think that's why people are drawn to it, especially like, and I think that point proves out at the Bungalow because it's like cool kid central and it gives everybody permission to like have fun and be a dork. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I'm just saying there's no rock and roll anymore. So like it fills that void of like people with guitars playing music on stage and like a band situation. And, you know, you guys know, sometimes when playing with a band, if the band's really good and you're like playing in the band breaks and you don't have like the best crowd, you're like, fuck, I gotta play between the band. And sometimes it can be challenging because you're one guy and you have to provide as much energy as 6 guys just did on stage. And it can be challenging. And it makes sense from like what you were just saying, like with the record label support of why they're pushing country too and why it is, you know, grown so much because I didn't think about it like that, but that makes a lot of sense.
I want to transition. So that's the roots of everything. And now I want to get, because it's going to go into what we end up talking about music wise, but I want to talk about like doing these bigger stages and the YEEDM crossover stuff that's like slowly brewing right now. Talk about your experience playing on a stage like that. And I guess what I would say is it's like the infancy of like EDM almost, because a lot of these remixes don't exist, right? So when people started playing EDM, regular EDM, like back in 2009, it was, you know, digging on the blogs and digging all this random shit. Luckily now there's better producers, more active, so you can find stuff. But talk about, you know, playing on these big stages and being able to find some of this stuff.
Well, it's definitely been different for me. I mean, I've been DJing for a long time. I've been DJing for like 20 years, longer than I haven't. And so like open format, everything under the sun. I always really liked house music and trance, and because that was like what was popular when I first started listening to music. And I think there was a part of me that always wanted to do that. I told you guys how I went to that Massive when I was like, you know, a kid. Yeah. I was just started DJing, and but it still felt very distant to me. And I think that like it's kind of like you want to be a rock star, but you settle for being in your small town band, right? And I think that's what happens. That's what I think happened for me. And in general, my DJing career has been that like I went and pursued a traditional career, and then kind of came back to DJing, and now I'm doing more of it than ever. So I think I had kind of given up on that idea of like, oh, maybe I'll play like, man, wouldn't that be cool to play on a big stage? Wouldn't that be cool to have thousands of people in front of you? Like, wouldn't that be just something, right? Like beyond like a private event or something that you know, like there's a difference, like a ticketed event where like there is a difference. And so it's been like kind of very humbling and just so much fun to be able to play on stages like that. And I'm so grateful for the folks that have like helped me get there. Drew, you've been a big part of that, so thank you. I think doing these parties in different cities has helped too. So I've done a couple of them at the Avalon in Hollywood, which is a beautiful theater. You guys should check it out. They have all kinds of different artists that play there. Old school theater. I've been there a million times and seen a million shows there. So again, to play at places where I was like a spectator is just really humbling and exciting. And let's see, we were also going to be we did one in San Diego and a much smaller club called Bloom that hosts like a lot of like bass style music. but that's a great venue as well if you guys are ever in San Diego. It's very DJ centric. So it's like a long room, and all the cameras with the big LED wall are like right on like over what the DJ is doing. So it's very DJ centric, really fun, kind of more intimate. And then I'm excited to be doing Time nightclub in Costa Mesa. So that's one of like the bigger ones. Like if you know, the big house guys are on their way through LA or Vegas, they'll usually stop and play at Time. So that one's coming up in a couple weeks, which I'm super excited about. And it's going to be a totally different kind of experience there again, because that's Orange County, which is different than both those other.
I talk about this all the time. Playing a room like that is different than doing a typical bar or whatever, right? It just demands an energy, whether it's the style of mixing or it's the remix or whatever. There's just something about it, like that room. Whether people want to hear it or not, the room demands that energy, right? And it demands that level of sound. How do you play a room like that? That's where I guess that the YEEDM stuff is like pretty much born, right? Is to give it that energy. Like I think Diplo did it at Stagecoach. It was kind of like maybe some of the early beginnings of this styling.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in general with country music, there's been an obvious crossover with like Southern music, right? Or like hip hop. That's not hard to draw. And I think that's why maybe even like 3 or 4 years ago, you started to see some of those crossovers. Those were some of the first bootlegs that Mike and I made were more hip hop oriented, because that's what I like that Southern, you know, kind of like, but I think like in terms of how you translate that and how you parlay it into something that feels more like EDM, or something that maybe even if it's not a country crowd, but they're an insomniac crowd, they want to hear that. They want to hear that. Like, I think you characterized it really well, Drew, and like just in general, the way that a lot of those style of DJs play is they'll be like a kind of a recognizable snippet and then a big drop, and you kind of have to like vacillate between those two to create something interesting but then doesn't turn into like a pattern of you just doing that, right? To me, I think the one thing that I've tried to do with these sets that I think I can get away with more than a lot of the other maybe more like traditional styles of EDM is to jump tempos more. And so like really trying to go from like maybe something that's more traditional EDM, like a 130, 128, into something that's like a lot faster, and then cutting it in half and doing like some juke stuff or some big bass stuff, which actually I do have some tips or some ways I can point folks if they're interested in what we're talking about too. So we can transition to that whenever you guys are ready. But I think that's been one thing that I've done to try to keep it interesting, so I don't just feel like I'm just like big drop.
Well, because country isn't all 130.
Big drop.
Country isn't all 130. It is up and down. I mean, the hits are all over the place. Some shit's slow, some stuff's this. So, no, it makes a lot of sense.
I got one question too before we like move on a little bit more. I know you play on Serato. You play a lot with the sticks when you're doing more of like the shows.
Yeah. So I've just completely. Okay. So I actually have a funny story for you guys. So. I don't know what possessed me. It was like blind confidence or Drew's spirit of like, fuck it, we'll do it live. But
that's everything.
Yeah, I had at one point gone out and I bought like a current CDJ setup with an A9 and everything. And I remember I had spent all my time figuring out what songs I was gonna play, and like really no time thinking about the fact that it was a completely different medium. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna show up there with a laptop. Like, come on, get out of here. Like, when in Rome, I think, right? And also it was like a good exercise. And so I don't know, probably about like 15 hours before, I was like, oh, I guess I better set these things up. And so I like set them up and downloaded Rekordbox, and it's the worst software ever in the world ever. Not saying something because I use Serato, right? But yeah, I mean, it was just, they're so easy to use now too. Like, I think that would have been a much bigger learning curve if I had jumped in and tried to do that with like, I don't know, a few generations ago. They're so idiot proof now. Like, truthfully, it is kind of fun. One thing you can do if you're like, especially if like, you're playing with like jerks sometimes, it's like, I'm gonna turn all the quantize off. I'm gonna turn everything off. And it's like, have fun, like, if they're being jerky or crowding your space or whatever, because they make it so easy for you now. So I have switched to sticks. I've really enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm sure you guys have experimented with that. It's refreshing to have less music. And I like the idea. It does feel weird walking in. I was telling Drew when we were walking into Beyond, and I was like, man, this is never gonna not feel weird not having a backpack on.
Yeah. I've been narrowing my music down. I mean, I'm down to like 6,500 songs maybe. And I would consider that like being able to play on a stick. And my goal is to be able to have Serato mirror a stick that comes with me. That's where I'm trying to get my head around. So I'm with you. I don't want to have to like go through all that. And I watched a Zillionaire recently, and he treats that fucking thing like a computer. He's like typing on it, and I'm like, how? It's crazy. They're incredible now. I guess it's sitting down and learning record box because I did try it right after he came. One day I put a whole set on. I put my last week's set on a stick and I tried to play on it. And yeah, it was tough because just the way I play personally, it was tough because I play so fast and I didn't have everything like dialed in to really be able to play like that. So
I think
filter, a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, I think filter and tag is something that I have really probably overused. In lieu of being more organized, especially. But I mean, I would encourage anybody to try it out, especially if you are like a lifer Serato user. I think it's good to have that flexibility, and you may find that you like it. And if you don't like it, don't ever do it again. You know.
Well, if you're playing clubs and you're showing up, you're kind of, you got to be somewhat flexible. I mean, this is where we clown on these guys that show up with fucking controllers, right? You should learn how to use the shit that's there.
You should learn how to use the shit that's there, because if you want to do bigger events, there's going to be more professional gear at the bigger events. And if you're just doing the opening set, they're not going to bend the gear towards you. They're going to find somebody who can play on the gear. And not only that, what I will say though, is you don't see it. I know by you guys, you see it, but like here, where every bar still has turntables and like a 900 or maybe an S9 or an S7, which the S7s are junk. That's a whole nother story. But the thing is with Serato is like most everything is in the computer, right? So like you can just use whatever gear. But the thing that's cool about Record Box, especially with the 3000s more specifically, the cool part about it is the gear and what you can do with the gear. The gear is more, the CDJ is more of a computer now, and you're just plugging your stick in and using it. The CDJ 3000s are incredible piece of DJ equipment, and I think people just don't, they're expensive, so they don't buy them. And two, I get why venues don't buy them too, because it's like nobody wants to replace, you know, a $3,500 single CDJ when you can buy a controller for $1,500 these days.
Well, I think there's something there too, right? So like a lot of the gear that you can buy that's more entry level, I think you could pretty much learn whatever you need to do to be minimally proficient on much lesser gear, right? And that also hasn't always been the case. There hasn't always been like a great proxy for a full CDJ setup. I mean, I guess the XZ was probably the first like kind of example of that I'm thinking of. But what I, and we don't have to go too far into this, but it's connected to something that I wanted to tell you guys about that's I think is unique to doing some of the EDC stuff, the country EDM stuff, is that because you're usually playing that for a mainstream audience, you'll find that people are playing the same songs in slightly worse or better iterations and remixes over and over and over again. And so if you're going to play, this is the way I've approached it. If I'm going to play a song that I know some other asshole is going to play, better be the best fucking remix I can find or that I made, right? And I think that's like when you don't have something available to you, that's when you have to figure it out, make it, link up with someone who knows how to make it, get some help, you know.
Programming always.
Well,
programming always.
We preach that always, because it's like we're all in theory playing other people's music, so the editing and like the remixing is really what allows you to do it differently and show your personality through other people's music, essentially.
And I think that's the only other thing I'd say about like playing on a big stage like that. When Drew said it demands something of you, I think your personality matters a lot more in environments like that, because people are watching. They are watching you.
Are you not entertained?
Well, and what's funny is that like they might love that you're indifferent and smoking a cigarette and couldn't care less about them. They might love that. And so it's not necessarily that you're like hamming for them, but they're watching you and they're looking for who you are because they want to understand if it's for them or not and if they're into it or not. And so that's different. It's different than DJing at a regular club. It really is. It's kind of more like going into the realm of like,
there has to be like intent to your set, like whether it's your dead mouse, like you already referenced, smoking a cigarette and not giving a fuck. His intent is that he doesn't give a fuck. That's his
30
intent.
minutes of
yeah. And then like there's people like two friends where it's like their intent is that they want the show to be random and awesome and produced well, and like they're gonna surprise you with their music, and then like you know, there's a craze that's like the superstar and he's gonna play techie and like be cool, you know, and like I think having intent is everything.
I want to get into music. I just want to say the little last piece is I can DJ on anything with Serato. And I think it really comes down to understanding the program of what you're going to use, right? So learning record box, if you're going to do that, just diving all in on that, I think would be all you really need to do to learn those. You know, you could play on any equipment with record box if that's
you know what helps though too is if you can beat match by ear and you don't know how to turn on sync, that helps.
Who knew?
Yeah, why do you think I like turning all that that crap off and watching these dorks like freak out and having a hard time, you know? Like if someone's humble about it and they're like, shoot, man, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'll help anybody all day long, but like you guys know what I'm talking about. They're kind of like,
you should know how to work the fucking gear. I remember the DJ show. We used to always make fun of the artist DJs that would show up to Heat when I'd play. And I remember the one guy brought his controller. He was playing for an artist. I won't even mention the name, but he looked over at me. He's like, bro, do you know how to turn sync off? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, is pissed the fuck off at me because I'm playing it too fast. I can't change it. And I was like, yeah, just hit this. And he's like, oh, thanks, dude. And like, he was getting mad at him because he didn't know how to work his shit, you know? But yeah, it just really comes down to the program. I'm sorry. It has little to do with the gear. The gear you can figure out.
Yeah,
it's all kind of the same at this point.
But learning how to beat mix, it's one of those things too where it's like you don't need it that often if you're switching over. I have guys when I do doubles and you know we're switching over, they're like, will you just do it? And I just do it sometimes because I'm like, it's fine. I've had guys where they're like, can we just go get the manager and then they can flip on the house music and then we'll switch over and then they can flip off the house. I'm like, dude, you're talking about like a 15 or 20 minute ordeal because you haven't learned how to properly like be a DJ.
Yeah, well, there's like a lot of ways to do that too. I just think there's maybe like some lackey
slam at it, boom, slam at it, mixed. Like I don't
really
get it these days.
Can't do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, also like I think the last thing that I would say about that is that again, I've been doing. If I can dust off my cane, my DJ cane, real quick, I've been doing this for a long time, and like you used to show up to clubs and have no idea what kind of equipment you were going to be playing on. No freaking clue, right? It could be some weird rack-mounted mixer that wasn't rack-mounted, right? That was just sitting there and like.
Still to this day, I don't know what I'm going to play on. It's always
right. One turntable's kind of ratchet, the other one's fine, and I mean, you know, just it's a crapshoot, and that still happens. Like I was there's a cool country club called Desert 5 Spot in LA, and it's fine. It's like if a big hotel group was like, we're gonna make a Hollywood country bar, it would be this place. As a matter of fact, I think that's exactly what happened. And when Shaboozey had his album release party there last year, Diplo came through and played a set, and it was funny because he's sitting there and he's like, I mean, I'm watching, right? My buddy DJ's there, and so I'm just watching to see what he's gonna do. And I can tell like the CDJ is giving him a hard time and it's not working the way he thinks it's going to. And it wasn't a big club setup. There's two of them, right? And it's like, just gotta figure it out. You just got to make it work, right? And so, you know, he's sitting there dealing with everybody and everybody's in his face. And I think they were more excited to see him than Shaboozey in a lot of respects. But I think like the gear can never be an excuse. You just have to figure it out, make it work.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
All right. Speaking of doing it live, we're going to get into a little bit of music here. We're going to talk a little music. We're going to do some country, some YEEDM, maybe even a couple originals. Pinky, do you want to start us off with your first pick?
Yeah, and I'll go kind of not bootleg, just OG. If you're looking for more country to integrate into your sets, but you're not really sure where to start. I really like Luke Combs. He's got this big, very approachable baritone voice. And people love this song, even if they don't know they love this song yet. It's Beer Never Broke My Heart. So it's got that real driving, it's country rock. It's got that real like hard, it's 77 beats per minute. So it's head bobby, but it's a good one to drop if you do like college bars and you think you might be able to get away with some of that. You can get in and out of that real quick, test it out. But I would always encourage folks to like, just try it. I think a lot of people think country's not going to work, but
non-alcoholic beers never broke my heart, but regular ones definitely has some heartbreak in it.
That's not the one where he won $100 on a scratch-off ticket, is it?
No, that's not the one. although it is the same artist. And that's a fabulous song too. Who doesn't love a great story about I got that broad out of my life and everything got better.
Yeah.
That's a happy story.
Yeah, I think that's a fun song. I'm not a big country fan, but if somebody else sang it, I would really like it probably.
When it rains, it pours, I think is what you're talking about.
That's what that one's called. Yeah, that is it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Fuse,
Fear
go.
never broke my heart. Okay. Luke Combs, he fun fact, he did the big stadium show here at the Bengals Stadium. And it was like a huge sellout, big crowd. So a lot of people like that guy for sure.
He's wildly popular, especially East Coast and Midwest. Drew and I actually went to the Country Music Hall of Fame when we were in Nashville the last time. And I didn't realize there's a whole giant wall committed to Luke Combs and documenting his journey. So he's a guy to pay attention to, I think, if you're just trying to stay on top of what's going on. And he actually makes good. That's my pick.
Awesome. My first pick is Florida Georgia Line versus Prince versus DJ Q. Cruise, the Fuseamania Purple Rain bootleg, available on DMS.
I will say I was last week days old when I realized that the Florida Georgia line meant the border between that and like Alabama or between Georgia. I mean, I'm sorry,
Floribama.
Yeah, I was like
a place.
I was like, how fucking dumb. Oh, a lot of time, and I've driven across that fucking FGL, if you will. All right, I'm gonna go. If you guys have this on your list, I apologize, but I'm gonna go Calvin Harris versus Post Malone. Feel So Close versus I Had Some Help. The Victor Menegaux bootleg. Yeah, it's a great little YEEDM deal. So there you go.
Yeah, very, very solid. I'll throw a YEEDM one out that you guys probably wouldn't have on your list. I did not play this song for so long, even in a country bar capacity. I was like, I couldn't bring myself to do it. It was too much cheese. My DJ pride was too much. But people love Cotton Eye Joe. They do. And so I had to find a version of it that I could stomach playing. And this is total YEEDM stuff. Like, it's not just the regular version. It's it's Cotton Eye Joe, the Bebe Dashstar bootleg. So it's just got that big drop of pretty much the normal song, chorus, verse, chorus. It's hard to tell the verse from the chorus in Cotton Eye Joe, but and it just comes in with this like big drop. So check that one out.
Who was it by?
I might be saying his name wrong. Jebe, Jaebea.
Jaebea. Oh, from Club Killers.
Jaebea.
Nice. All right, Fuse.
Okay. Drew mentioned this one, and I really like the Post Malone. I Had Some Help. I really liked this remix. It was the Friday Beers remix. It's up on DMS. I just like it. The way they remixed it. Just kind of gives it more of a not so country feel and has a lot more energy, and I enjoy it. So that's my pick. Post Malone, I Had Some Help, Friday Beers remix.
I was just gonna honorable mention that same song since we're talking about it. It's probably a go-to must staple, but the Burnout remix I love about that one too.
Yeah, there's a couple different versions that are good. Obviously, you just picked it as well with the Victor Menegaux.
Yeah.
So
that's what I mean.
Options.
It's
so popular.
Replication, right? Like.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a big song. I'm happy that I have different ways to play it, especially at residencies. So I like that one. Let's see. I'm gonna go with an older one here. This is Pitbull versus Lil Nas X, Timber, Old Town Road, and that's Scooter did that one.
That is a good one. It is a good one.
It still hits. So
I'll actually call out Scooter as well. He did a really recent blend of JellyRoll's Liar with Promiscuous from Nelly Furtado. It actually goes, when I remember looking at it and being like, what in the fuck? There's no way. And actually they just fit together perfect and really are good for that crossover crowd. If you're trying to figure out how you can work in some different stuff into your sets, like I've definitely seen some non-country crowds really respond well to that. And like I've used it very, very recently. So shout out to Scooter on that one too. Also up on DMS. That's where I got it from.
Nice. It's back to me. Okay, this is one that I've ran into the ground, like absolutely ran into the ground. And as you guys know, I don't like country. And this is probably the breakthrough edit that made me start playing some country in my sets, because I was like, wow, this kind of really makes the song, like it fits so normal. And even Steve did a really good job of structuring it. And it's the way he structured it makes sense, but it's Morgan Wallen and Aviici Last Night versus the Knights, the Even Steve bootleg. I ran that one into the ground. I've played it a bazillion times.
He even
That's
was able to wordplay the titles. Look at that,
Right.
dude.
Yeah.
That's that one. Facts. I play it almost every single night. It's so good.
You play the Knights last night and every night. Wow, it's the wordplay central.
I played the remix.
The edit.
This one is going to be Fuseamania will love to make fun of me for this one, but Zach Brown Band, Chicken Fried, and it's the real Haifa remix. And he's got a great story for you, and I deserve this story. But the real Haifa remix, and I'll put it on the Patreon. But it is I took all the drops out of it, so it just makes it kind of it makes it play. It's at like 110. It just plays a little differently, a totally different vibe. I de-dropped it, and I'll put that on the Patreon.
I got a great story about it. I'm not going to publicly tell my Drew Pierce chicken fried story, but if you guys see me out anywhere and you want to hear the Drew
no, go for it. Go for it. I don't care.
You want me to tell this story?
Yeah, tell it. I don't. It was a long time ago. It's all good. These things happen.
Just got no shame. Let's hear it.
All right. So we're DJing and I think it was the first time. It was the first time because yes, it was the first time we DJ'd at a spot there. And it was like 1 a.m. and Drew and we started at 9 to give you some context. And it was the last day of me being in town for like 6 days in a row. And we had been drinking and DJing every night. And like, it was one of those where like, to like really get into it. And
well, it's an hour and a half down the road. So by the time we get into town, we are like, drink, stat. So because we start drinking. Or before we even get to the club.
Fast forward now, it's 1 a.m. and Drew's favorite thing to do, especially when drinks are fueled, is to make everybody super happy and have a good time and then instantly fuck it all up. I mean, instantly fuck it all up. So we're playing and it's like a good club vibe. And him and I are doing like every 15, 20 minutes going back and forth. And like, it was like we were doing the thing where it's like, all right, who can like burn each other the hardest, like, and just like trying to keep the set going. And then so Drew hops on and it's like a fucking level 10 in there. And it's been a level 10 for like the last like 2 hours, I would even say, maybe even more than that. It was probably like 3 hours at that point because we started at 9. He just fucking hits him with chicken fried. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what the fuck? And he's like, it's closing. It's closed. It's over. And I'm like, bro, it's 1, not 2. And he's like, we're closing. And then I can't get him to stop playing it. He plays the whole fucking song. And then he drops 3 Little Birds right after it because he thinks it's closing.
Well,
time.
I thought it was closed. I did think it was over. And so that is what I'll do to close out because the bartenders love it because I'm get everyone the fuck out.
Right, sure.
Right? But I was just a little too early on the time slot of that. And so Fuse kicks me off and then the lights come on and I just fucking run out of the club.
He literally ran. He literally ran out. I had to like chase him down the street. He's running like a little kid. Like, no.
That's really funny. That is the most Drew Pierce coded thing I've ever heard.
So I always ask him if he's chicken fried wasted or if he's just normal wasted or what. But he hasn't been drinking, so he's not that at all.
This is a good bar to know. It could be chicken fried dumb. It doesn't have to be wasted. It could just be in that mindset, you know?
Yeah.
I think we can still use it is what I'm trying to say.
I will never think anytime I hear that song, I instantly think of that moment. Because I mean, the club, it's like packed. There's people like sitting on the booths. There's like a bottle service next to us on each side. And
they
like,
didn't leave though.
No, they didn't leave, but everybody was like, what the fuck is going on? Right. But it was all recoverable and it was recovered. And now it's just a funny story.
Yeah.
And we played there after. We played there again.
So. No, he kicked me off and he went back on.
Yeah.
How'd you get out of it? Do you remember?
He just slammed something. It was just like, fuck it. Yeah.
DJs who take what they do seriously and maybe aren't new to it, right? So they've seen some really successful DJs be significant icons in like socially, right? Like they take it seriously. I think sometimes we take ourselves a little too seriously in the process. And so, not that you should be a drunken fool at all your gigs, but what I do mean is like, it's okay to take some risks. Like really with the exception of like a couple very serious, maybe hip hop style bottle service clubs, I can't think of a place where you can't, if you do it right, and if you have a roadmap and you have a plan, get a little goofy and do something fun. Like that's what I'm saying is that I think the fun is missing. I think everyone's taking themselves way too seriously. And I mean, maybe not chicken fried, but whatever your chicken fried is, like maybe don't be afraid to just try.
No, I'll do a regular country set, like you know, kind of the what's the standard, the Sam Hunt and
sure, like the house party,
the one everyone does, house, yeah, like or Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. Like I've done those in peak hour, like
I definitely think that that's 100% what's killed like a lot of nightclubs and like why nightclubs are down, because they've sucked the fun out of it and it's become like, well, this is cool, and it's like, yeah, but it's not fun. It's not fun to sit there and piss people off, but like listen to fucking Meek Mill songs all night. Like that's not fun. It's not fun.
Like no one wants to actually listen to Dreams and Nightmares. I refuse to believe. I mean, unless you're like gonna rage and beat someone up outside the club.
Unless they're in Philly, where every time I hear somebody play Dreams and Nightmares, I look around and everybody's like this.
Yep. That's also like a very like Midwest thing. I'm not aware of anybody who's playing that on the West Coast. But you know, I actually want to give Drew. We just tore him down for making a questionable programming decision. But I want to give him some.
I'm all right. I can take it.
No. I want to give you some flowers. There was one time where Drew was doing a showcase set where he was playing for other DJs, which is a very difficult thing to do. If you guys have never done that and you have the opportunity, please do it, because it will force you to think about your DJing in a whole new way. And you either will do what we just talked about, take yourself too seriously and probably not do that great, or it'll be the best time of your life. So he was doing a showcase. This is a while ago now. I think a couple of years.
I don't know which one you're bringing up, but I'm listening.
Playing in that Drew Pierce style, ripping through songs, but like not the obvious ones. You actually did. You turned around. You did the AM thing to me. You looked at me and you're like, and you played some country. You ripped through some country just because.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I know this. Yeah.
Then so right after that, it's like he kind of did like, I don't remember if he did like a slam edit, but you like quieted the room down for a second, right? And it's like you hear this like there you
go.
And this motherfucker plays the entire version of Kokomo, I think, is what it was. And everyone's like, what is this? It was the last thing everybody was expecting. The whole damn song, the whole song.
Yeah.
And it was great. Everybody was loving it. They were singing at the top of their lungs. But so that's the risk that I think.
People still talk to me about that to this day. I have people come up to me and go, oh, that one GMS party when you played the Kokomo. And I to this day, people still bring it up. So
I was standing.
More people are going to remember that than they're ever going to remember fucking the most generic 100%. Song of all time.
100%. I was standing next to Chris Cox and he looks at me and he was like, I can't believe he played this. And I love so much that he did. Take risks. They don't always work out. But take risks.
Amen.
I've got a few more songs to share with you guys.
Yes,
no,
totally.
We're not done.
So
we're not done. That's Chicken Friday. Yeah, your turn.
Yep.
And I want to share all of them with you. So a few of them actually are a couple bootlegs.
They'll go on the Patreon
anywhere yet.
Just so we know, we're going on the Patreon.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
wherever you want to put them is fine with me. So
and DMS.
This one's not my boot, but it's Before He Cheats, the Grown remix by Carrie Underwood. And so what I like about this edit is that it kind of feels like the normal version you kind of go through, and then it comes in with like a double time, almost like juke style. Like it's got like some oomph behind it, which again, like that crossover appeal. And then there's like a fun drop in the middle that's like, I think is a Soulja Boy drop or something like that, just a vocal drop. It's just fun and different, and I think you guys would not have to work too hard to work it into a set.
It's a huge country sing along, so yes, it does kill. Grown 60 remix.
Back to me. Let's see. Oh, okay. I talked about this on here before. Dromaz got a great Patreon. He did a bootleg blend, whatever we're calling it, of John Denver Country Roads over top of Shaboozey, a bar song Tipsy. And it's one of those where like everybody knows Country Roads crushes and everybody sings every word to it. But I really like this one because it kind of like fits in the set better for the way that I play and it doesn't ruin the song too much. So that's my pick. Country Roads, Joe Maz. He's got a great Patreon.
So we're not doubling over all these songs, but I'll honorable mention the Scene Kings version. It's a good little redrum that just came out on Bar Bangers. My next pick is let's see, did you pick this one, Fuse? No, I'm gonna do Shania Twain, Still the One, the Revis Alone at Midnight edit.
That is a killer edit. Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
It's one of my picks since you just mentioned it. And
oh, it was. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Because I'll just the DJ Ragoza has a great bootleg on DMS of Still the One too, where he takes the instrumental of Jay Bruce's Owl City, the Owl City. Anyway, the Ragoza bootleg.
Fireflies?
The other one, Good Time. That's it. Good Time. So the instrumental of that, and it makes it a little bit more like digestible. I feel like not so like EDM festival-y. It works like better bar edit for me. So that's why I like that one. But yeah, I hate Shania Twain. My soul dies every time I play a little bit of it, but I know people like it.
All right.
He didn't mean it. Let's see. So I actually want to call out, I've been really enjoying, there's a DJ out of Jersey. His name's Temu. And I've really been enjoying his stuff. I think he's a part of a larger like group that does like boots and stuff, but boot packs. He has a version of House Party that's mixed with Around Me by Castro and Blue. That's very playable. So like if you're doing like kind of the more like typical like up tempo EDM, like very like kind of just happy, not super cerebral. Most of his edits are like more like way more bassy. Like, you know, Drew, I played a couple of those like big bass, thick. This is way more approachable, so not necessarily representative of the rest of his stuff, but yeah, House Party, Temu's Around Me edit.
Nice.
Love it. I got one more pick here for today. This is another shameless plug. Bebe Rexha and Flo Rida, Georgia line, Meant to Be. If it's meant to be, it'll be.
Hey, is that a wordplay?
Let it be.
Florida and Florida Georgia line?
Yeah, Flo Rida, Georgia line.
You got to change that title.
Shorty got
Rida,
low,
Georgia
low,
line.
low. All right, we're probably confusing people now at this point. They're gonna be like, "What edit? Got what?" But Bebe Rexha, Meant to Be, DAFS, Good Vibes bootleg. It's on DMS. It just makes the song a little more bar friendly without ruining it, I feel like.
Okay, here's my last one. It's Dan and Shay versus Biebs, 10,000 Hours versus Sorry, and it's the Fuseamania bootleg or remix.
Is it? Wow. Look at me. I'm country.
It's a great one. Works all the time.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna cheat and just dump a number of them on you guys, and again, I'm gonna give all these to Drew,
honorable mention.
Put them wherever you put them. One of them is the She's in Love with the Boy. It's a Trisha Yearwood versus Fatboy Slim versus Lodato. It's a Danny Diggs house bootleg edit. So it's Praising You with She's in Love with the Boy. So just a really cool classic country song mixed with something that you would not expect. Works really well, kind of up tempo, kind of like sexier.
She's in love with the boy.
Yeah,
that's how it goes.
That's exactly the way it goes. And then just a few more honorable mentions. Mike D has a version of Heads Carolina, Joe D. Messina, and Cole Swindell. So Cole Swindell covered her song. Oh, sorry, I lost you guys. Hang on. He covered her song, but in his typical Mike fashion, Mike has made them sound as though they were all one song. So just a killer proper country blend, I guess I could call it. But barely, because it's the same song and it's a cover. Anyway, really well done. And the other one that I wanted to share with you guys, again, actually is a Hot Honey boot that we haven't put anywhere yet. So Hot Honey is myself and Mike D. We've really been having a lot of fun, like just making, well, mostly stuff where I'm like, hey, this doesn't exist, let's make it, right? And actually Mike does like country, so he's had fun working on the project with me. It's a mix of White Horse by Chris Stapleton and Akon's like I wanna make love, but it's not a proper blend. It's just it's more of a mashup. So I'll share that one with you. It's really up tempo, really, and we left the swinging prison doors in the right, the Akon.
All right.
So there's a little.
Part of the
It's
song.
familiar, but yeah. Anyway, I'll make sure to send those ones to you. All of them.
I was gonna say, people that are listening to this, you're the only ones that'll ever know. But if the YEEDM really blows up for them, they do Hot Honey. They're gonna start wearing these masks. It's kind of gonna be.
You gotta wear a Winnie the Pooh costume. You have to. Just
we just might.
Two Pooh Bears DJing.
No, but with the honey head, it's gonna be the honey head.
Yeah.
Everybody else does
Fuse,
it.
do you have any honorable mentions?
Let me look. There's one that I might have an honorable mention of. I'm not the biggest EDM country guy, but you said Luke Combs and Matthew Topper did an edit of Fast Car. That's like a Don Diablo. So that bootleg, the 16, Matthew Topper 16 bootleg edit. That's a good one. And Scooter did Dan and Shay Tequila, and it's pretty good too. It's a Scooter Frankenstein edit. It kind of goes into like a twerky drop, but tasteful. I like that one too.
I have a DAFS one that I was going to say, the Benson Boone, Beautiful Things. I know it's not country, but I would play it in that set. So it's a DAFS bootleg.
Those are all good edits that were mentioned today. A lot of them you can find on DMS, and the ones that you can't find on DMS, if you guys don't know already, we started the Patreon page. We'll be putting the ones that you can't find on DMS up there. And so if you haven't subscribed yet, go over there and subscribe. It's $9.99 a month. It's as much as Drew's daughter spends on one Starbucks every time she goes. So
we want to thank you for being on. It was a lot of fun. So thanks for doing this, and go follow or mention all your follows and where you play, and let everyone know where to find you.
Yeah, it's just at DJ Pinke, DJPINKE, pretty much all platforms. Next big show, like we talked about, it's going to be Time Nightclub in Costa Mesa on May 9th. That's the big one that's lined up right now. Every Wednesday, I'm at the Bungalow in Santa Monica. I fill in when Drew's sick at Huntington. Just kidding. I'll be at Long Beach this Saturday, the Long Beach Bungalow, and the following Saturday. So we're in April right now. So yeah, we get around. I always post where I'm playing. So thank you guys for having me on. This is a lot of fun. I hope.
No problem. Thank you for being on and chatting with us. It's always great when we have friends on here because it just goes so smooth. So thank you. And before we jump off, I just have to mention, if you haven't signed up for DMS yet, if you use the promo code Drew and Fuse Show, it will get you 30% off your first month of activation. So now we can officially be over.
Peace.
See ya.